Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are getting to one of the sponsored requests from our friend Seriously Wood 9961. Thank you so much for this request. This is Smashing Concrete from Woodz. This was on his single album last year, I'll Never Love Again. And I just did the reaction for this over on the main channel. So if you just want the reaction, with minimal speaking, obviously there is some, check that out. But this video is my breakdown where I talk more about lyrics and anything that's in the video worth mentioning, which I mentioned in that video. I wasn't sure what we were getting into because it's a visualizer. And so modern visualizers, for example, Chungha's Save Me visualizer, is like, there's nothing to it. There's some artistry, but it's mostly AI and there's almost devoid of meaning altogether. But this actually does have a few things worth pointing out. And the very first one, which I didn't point out even though it's directly on my screen as we get started, here, I'll just show you, is this warning. This video may potentially contain seizure triggers for those with photosensitive epilepsy. Viewer discretion is advised. Yeah, especially towards like the latter minute of the song or so. There's a lot of flashing, so if you're sensitive to it, probably just listen to this one. It even gives me a headache at the end, and I don't have epilepsy. But anyway. Let's take a look at what he is trying to tell us with this song. Okay, hold up. What do we got here? So we're defining stress, great worry caused by a difficult situation or something that causes this condition. Under stress, people under a lot of stress may experience headaches. Ain't that the truth? Minor pain, sleeping difficulty. Maybe I'm just constantly under stress. Jesus. Combat stress yoga. Nope, never going to happen. Is a very effective technique for combating stress. How do you recover from the stresses and strains of the day? Just looking to see if there's anything in here that's going to set us up for the video. And I think there is, but I wouldn't have associated what we see with stress, at least not off the bat. People often behave irrationally when they're under stress. True. She's been under a lot of stress recently, and it's starting to tell. Extreme stress had driven him to the brink of a nervous breakdown. Sorry, I'm trying to read like the white lettering that's set against his white shirt. That's not the best choice here. She seems to thrive on stress. All that stress at work had begun to drag him down. So these are examples of how people are going to deal with stress. Okay, I got you. Because we're going to see different scenes, different people coming up soon. As our hairband drummer here. What do these words say? Anything important? Oh, okay. Concrete, and it might have said smashing concrete. I don't know. I like to try and at least attempt to catch those little details when I can. Okay, so before we get into his actual first verse, there's a couple of things I want to point out. These were the people that I was talking about here. Let's see, we're at 42 seconds just so I can try and make a mental note of where to come back to. But like, we have the influencer who's trying to get everything just right. She's got her makeups and all the stuff like scattered on the bed, trying to get that perfect look. So she's got her form of stress. We've got this lady over here who's dealing with like massive balls of yarn, and this one seems to be like loose. I don't knit or crochet, so I don't know if it's supposed to be loose like that, but I don't think it is. Either way, she's looking at it. You can tell she's kind of looking down like the hell is going on. So she's got some stress here. That's our drummer. He's not stressed. He's just having fun. This guy's at work. He is stressed. You can see right here in his face. And then this guy, not him. Him, the delivery driver. He is stressed. He's like trying to fulfill an order. You can see it in his face. Like all the people that are doing the acting in this did a pretty solid job. The other thing I want to point out here is the setting of the room is deliberate. I wasn't sure in the reaction if this was like just a room or if it was meant to be like a metaphor for a prison because it is called Smashing Concrete. But yeah, he's behind what's, at least from this camera angle, looks to be massive walls of concrete. And obviously the thought is that you're not going to get over, through it, under it, whatever. Like it's going to keep you in the box. What I just said, I think, is going to be important, and I didn't mean to stumble on that. We'll come back to it, though. Yeah, okay. The chorus, though, since we're already paused here, feels like I'm about to break, slammed into a gray wall, so here we are. It's like, when he says he's slammed into a gray wall, it implies that someone else has done the slamming, so maybe there's no one here in the visualizer doing it, so I have to imagine it's a metaphor for like society throwing him against the wall, or maybe because when it also says he feels like he's about to break, maybe this is a point where he's like being told what to do or how to do it or whatever, and so he's feeling kind of trapped. He's trying to get around or out of that box. I said we'd come back to it later, but we're back. So maybe like the expectations of, or, you know, the direction that he's supposed to follow according to, maybe it's the label, maybe it's society, whatever. And he's feeling trapped in there and he is trying to get away from that, overcome it. So I look up and face this towering wall. Just looking up won't change a thing. This massive beast is bound to break someday. So, just looking up won't change a thing is, to me, a double meaning. The obvious meaning, because he talks about it being towering, which means it's super tall, right? So, you know, just looking up towards the top of it isn't going to help you climb it. You got to actually do something about it. Or go through it. Like he says, this massive beast is bound to break. But the other way you could take that is, especially if you're a religious person, is like just looking up, you know, there's a lot of people who say like, you know, God will provide and, you know, God answers prayers, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I'm not going to say that that is or isn't true. That's in the heart of the believer. But the way you could take this line is like just looking up, you know, just praying for something to happen isn't going to make it happen. Like you still have to provide the action. You know, you still have to have the heart and the desire to make the change, or in this case, crash through the obstacle or climb the obstacle. You know, maybe in this case, if it were a religious inclination here on the interpretation, you could think that, you know, God's divine providence will give you the wisdom or the strength to do it, but you still have to be the one to do it. Okay, let's check out verse 1. Hold up, this is the guy I was trying to freeze on and I couldn't get it. I wanted to see, does this, oh, it's all in Hangul, I think, so I can't read what that says. But it's Woodz' logo, and this one, these over here say concrete. So it looks like his job is to hand out these flyers, maybe. Get, maybe, like, promote whatever this is, trying to get these people in. And he's feeling stressed, maybe because no one wants his flyers or something. Yeah, he's even taking a little break here. He's got the head of the costume off, getting some air. Looking at the stack in his hand like, Jesus, we still have this many left. This guy was also one I didn't see when I was going through those jobs, or whatever they were. But we have a guy meditating here, and he's got the brass bowls, and I'm not sure what all this is, but he is deep in it. We got the incense, got the candles, we got like the, I don't know, is this Sanskrit, or is this like uh what what's the language called? Hindi? I don't know. But I think the bowls are Tibetan, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that too, but the point is, yeah, he's trying to center himself and find peace here. I don't see any stress with this guy though. He seems like he's got this. Everyone else is stressed the hell out. Got our man even doing laundry over there. I love his delivery of this pre-chorus. I chuckled at the granny yelling at the phone. I like that shot too. Okay, let's actually hold on. Is this where the lyric page says guitar solo? Is this where that's at? Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure before I stop and actually discuss lyrics again. So, verse 1, cut up by lies, what could I possibly learn from these creeps? So, that tells me something. Like, I don't know his past under, as a member of the group, or, when he went off and formed other projects. But it seems to tell me that at least his perception of that earlier part of his career, was marked by people lying to him, and he doesn't feel like they have his best interest at heart. And so if they don't have his best interest in mind, what could he possibly gain from them? What could he possibly learn from them that's going to provide him any benefit moving forward? Words like coiled serpents is a poetic way of just saying, like, they're lies. They're a coiled serpent is ready to strike. So, yeah, just not, maybe they're not even lies, but hidden truths or hidden meanings behind what they're saying. You think of serpents imagery wise in literature as being like these deceitful creatures, usually. Not always, but it's pretty common. Tear that black veil away. My heart's rotting from the inside out. So, in my interpretation, I'm taking this as maybe he tried following what the people told him at one point or another, and he knew it didn't resonate with him. He knew it was a lie, that it wasn't true to himself, and so it kind of cast a pall over his heart and his emotions about things, and now he wants to rip that away and be his true self. So I drag myself by the hair. So it's another way of saying, like, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Like, I even if it's painful, I get up on my own. Let's pull up that red line with a sound that spirals to the peak. So the red line is usually described as like the line that you can push yourself to, and if you go over that, then you risk breaking, essentially. If you've got a car and you're revving it and you go past the red line, you're probably going to blow the engine. If you're an athlete and you push it past the red line, you're probably going to have an accident. Or like in the Olympics, we saw the downhill skiers. A lot of the commentators, mentioned the phrase like they want to push it to the red line, and if they went over, they started crashing and getting hurt on the mountain. So if he's pulling up that red line, you could either think of that as moving the red line further along so that he's got even more clearance to do what he wants, or you could take it as in wherever the red line is, he's ready to go past it anyway. Like, you know, if I break, who cares? I'm gonna do this one way or another. And I think either one of those are potentially valid interpretations. I think I personally, based on the other things that we're seeing, I like the second one where it's, again, him being willing and having the courage to do things his way. Even if it breaks him, he's going to go for it no matter what. And also, at this point in the song, the guitar solo's going on. We've got the credits going on here. The pre-chorus was "I spit out a sigh, ha, then throw my fist harder and smash it down." So he's gonna Hulk smash the wall down. All right. We had the chorus again. It's the same one, and then this guitar solo. So we'll come back after verse 2. I'm pretty sure this is him playing too. He is absolutely shredding this. Yeah, this is your epilepsy warning. There's our "Why So Serious," baby. Okay, I said I was going to come back after verse 2, but there's some of the things like these characters in the video that are making me laugh, especially the grandma with the yarn. We had the earlier part where she's yelling at the phone. She has tickled me again here. Look at this facial expression. But this is coming right after the lines like, I smashed through one wall, and beyond that it's an even bigger wall. Like, you see, she has managed to somehow deal with the initial problem, which I think was the red yarn, even though it's not completely solved. But then on the other side of it, it's more huge balls of tangled yarn. And again, her facial expression is killing me. The laundry guy, I don't know what this guy's deal is, by the way. Like, you had no stress whatsoever. What are you screaming about? But the laundry guy, see if we can find him. I think that was, yeah, him. So you notice he had finished the pile of clothes here finally, but now there's another huge pile back here. Like, just when he thought maybe he was done, boom, another load coming in. Our office worker guitaring on the keyboard there. But there, I don't know if I'm gonna find it. I saw words flashing on the screen there. Hold on. Oh, really? Did Woodz put this in here? Because this in and of itself is like, so if you can't see it, and it is pretty tiny print, especially if you're on mobile, it's the same warning. Like, the following footage contains, rapid alternating red and blue flashing patterns. Talks about basically it's a photosensitivity warning. But it's flashing. It's not even a solid warning on the video. It's just like blink, 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 blink. Like, bruh. No one except for me who's doing what I'm doing is going to even see what that said. Okay, verse 2. I just keep them crumbling down. So talking about the walls, the obstacles. Let out a dry laugh, same old life on repeat. I've smashed one wall down, and a few steps later, an even thicker one stands in the way. So yeah, it's this feeling not just of rising up and doing things your way, being willing to smash through the expectations or the constraints that are holding you, but the idea that it almost seems like things are coordinated against you. Like you overcome one obstacle just to immediately find another. And so there's almost this element of angry hopelessness to it. I throw myself at it again and again, want to bet I'll break, but I never will. So, you might think that I'm eventually going to give in or I'm going to cave, but nah, that's not who I am. I'm going to keep going even if this kills me. We're going to take it past the red line, baby. Where the skin's torn away, calluses grow, pain loses its edge. He's using the metaphor of, physically, some of y'all are, I mean this respectfully, but you're soft and you've never had calluses. But if you do something repeatedly, let's say you do a lot of work with your hands, like you're a farmer or a wood carver or something like that, and your hands are constantly getting used and scraped up and everything, eventually they're going to harden, they're going to callus over. And so the things that caused pain, that when you were getting scraped before, now it's just going to kind of just scratch those calluses. You're not going to feel the pain there anymore. And that's what we're getting at here. We're doing something painful over and over again until we either get results or we become numb to the pain and we can push through it. I bash my head again, eyes wide open, don't care who walks by. They click their tongues, tell me to turn around. So it's like the tisk tisk, like I'm disappointed in you kind of thing. Like they're essentially mocking him or expressing again disappointment that he's continuing to try and fight the status quo here. But he says, I flip the finger and smash into them. So he's like, F you people, I'm still gonna do things my way. And smash into them, I know he's talking about the obstacles, or the walls, but he didn't go back to saying anything about the walls. He's still talking about them as in the people who click their tongue. So maybe he's actually talking about, like, I'll crash through them too, like the people with these expectations or the ones who are trying to, box me in. All right, now this part right here is where the flashing light gets irritating, at least for me, because there's no point to it from here on. Like, I've understood everything up to this point. From here on, as far as the lighting, I don't get it. And it gives me a headache. But I'm going to suffer through this last part with you guys because the song is still legit and you guys still deserve the rest of the video. I like that ad-lib there. It's just something higher to break up the consistency of the song. Super cool song. Love the rocking out and the like that confidence to go for what you want and what you think is right, despite what anyone else might say and whatever obstacles you have to go through or over to or around to get to. But that last, like, roughly 50 seconds of the video is like, All right, guys, so that was Smashing Concrete from Woodz. And shout out again to Seriously Wood 9961 for the request. I hope you guys enjoyed. If so, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to enable your notifications. And also, make sure you guys go support Woodz. Buy the new album. It just came out. Archive 1 has 17 songs on it. Great value. On top of the fact that obviously they're all going to be, really fantastic pieces of music. But also, subscribe to his channel. Follow him on socials. If I don't know if he has any, but I know he's obviously got this YouTube channel, so follow him there, sub there. If you want to get a request done here or on the main channel, you can do that in one of two ways. You can either subscribe to Patreon. Shout out to our gray tier and higher subscribers. Thank you guys for all your support. If you come in at the free, free sub level, there is some free content over there, but most of the content is locked. And if you come in at gray tier or higher, then you get access to all of that content, including survival shows and concerts and anything else that might be there. But you also get your monthly requests. If you're not interested in the Patreon benefits, though, you can check the description of the video below, and there will find a link to PayPal and instructions on how to use it. So feel free to take a look, and I will see you guys for the next one. Take care, everyone.